Hey all you nerds, Gabe aka Froopy Art here, and welcome back to our Gravity Falls and cryptid-inspired region. In the previous episode, you met Looker out in the swamp and stopped a rampaging Ultra Beast. Maple let you know that Atlantica has another device component, so you're meeting her outside of that spoiled rich kid's mansion. You pass by a Poke Center on your way and heal up your Pokemon.
Thanks for stopping by, little dude. Be sure to come again.
And after crossing a bridge, you make it to the mansion's sprawling grounds.
There you are! Are you ready to teach Atlantica a lesson and get another piece of Grunkle Will's machine thingy? Oh, but first things first. He gave us each one of these. Here's yours.
Maple hands you a necklace. In the center is a small iridescent shard. Something about it feels absolutely otherworldly.
Grunkle Will explained it to me. Apparently, there are tiny bits from a whole other dimension. I guess they fell through an ultra wormhole or something. But if a trainer and a Pokemon are bonded and best buddies and everything, then this necklace does some weird magic-y, science-y stuff that Grunkle Will says nobody really understands, and you can merge with your Pokemon. Apparently, it takes a lot of practice to use, but Grunkle Will said he'll start training us when we get back.
Holding the necklace, you are certain you can feel some strange extra-dimensional energy flowing through it. You put it on and look forward to getting a full explanation from the professor.
But right now, let's go say hello to Atlantica.
You walk up an ornate path and stand between massive marble columns as you ring the doorbell. A stuffy butler opens the door and gestures for you to come inside. Apparently, you were expected.
Well, if it isn't the sad little Pines twins, I knew if I posted about this dumb device that you two would come running. You see, I am the great-great-granddaughter of this town's founder, and my family is very important. Your family, on the other hand, is a disgrace and needs to be put in its place.
Hey, our family is great. We're the coolest twins you'll ever meet, and our Grunkle Will is an accomplished Pokemon researcher.
Are you kidding me? That professor of yours doesn't actually do anything. He uses the front of a research building to draw in tourists, show them fake Pokemon, and take their money.
Don't talk about our Grunkle that way. He's the best.
And the sad thing is, he's still so poor he can barely keep that shack open. All he cares about is money, and he still can't get enough of it.
He cares about us.
You two? You two are even sadder. But enough is enough. Time to remove the riffraff. My rock-type Pokemon are as tough as diamonds and ready to crush you.
Atlantica throws out her first Pokemon. Alright, she's going to start out with a big, burly Pokemon based on the Ntuka, or Killer of Elephants from the jungles of the Congo. So, this big beastie is known for its huge horn on its head, and while some may think that it's like a misidentified rhino, people will assure you that it isn't as simple as that. Instead, the Ntuka is reptilian in appearance and more likely a dinosaur that didn't die out. So we're playing with the idea of a living fossil here. It's all fun and skeletal looking while just being a solid rock type. This is a tough single stage design, so the biggest thing here was landing on the right level of detail. It can be helpful to look at other similar Pokemon. In this instance, I was thinking about the design of like Kangaskhan, to get a right feel for the complexity you're going for. I think we ended up with a slightly more dynamic rock type than most, which is fun. All right, let's meet Ceratouka, the living fossil Pokemon. This tough rock type was long thought to be extinct, and modern sightings complicated the issue as it was first assumed to be a reanimated skeleton. In fact, Ceratouka's body is covered with sturdy plates that appear like bones. This Pokemon also loves to play in swamps and rivers, which is unusual for rock types. Its ability is Rock Head, so that prevents recoil damage. I mean, it's all bony and whatnot. But the hidden ability is Water Absorb, which is pretty fun and silly for a rock type. It lands with a shockwave in the center of the foyer. You are nearly knocked off your feet, but Maple flies all the way into a wall. Worried about your sister's safety, you let loose your first Pokemon. Ceratouka has some serious stats to contend with, but you take it down, and Atlantica sends out a Cubesque, another mono rock type, and you know how to deal with this one. You're familiar with it. After that, Atlantica has another new Pokemon ready. Okay, let's go to the other side of the spectrum for rock types and do something a little cute and squishy. So this will be a 2-stage line based on the Samaritan sea snail with a bit of the French carcole sprinkled into. These giant cryptid snails were a fun find while I was doing research, and I specifically love that the Samaritan sea snail is actually gentle and sweet. I also drew in inspiration from the beautiful iridescent nature of abalone shells, a real-life massive mollusk. That's where I ended up getting these kind of out-of-the-blue colors for this little snail's partially covered shell. The shell's a little strange, but I'll explain it with the dex entry. Okay, let's say hello to Perlipod, the fancy shell Pokemon. These snails gather up different sands to help build their multicolored shells. While they enjoy being colorful, they also fear predators, and then choose to cover up their beautiful shells with tough stone for camouflage. They love to travel and yearn for a trainer that will help them collect different sands from across the Hoenn region to help build their shell. The ability is Innards Out, which I think before this was a unique ability. So whenever they faint, they damage the opponent, and the hidden ability is Dazzling. It's certainly a strange little Pokemon, and you feel a little bad beating it up since it isn't particularly strong, though it does deal a little bit of damage when you faint it because of its ability. Atlantica is getting pretty annoyed that you are taking her team out, but she does seem quite confident with her ace. Ah, yes. This Pokemon and Atlantica are just made for one another. Hailing from New Guinea, the Roe is another one of those dinosaur-esque cryptids. This one, however, has a pretty bizarre appearance with Stegosaurus-like plates on its back and a weirdly long neck. Like someone just smashed a couple dino species together and said, yeah, that's an imposing beastie. Now, this long neck actually works really well for the design, as just like Atlantica, this Roe looks down on everything. And by making the plates into gems, it gets all the Atlantica glitz and glam that you could want. I'm actually really happy with how her partner Pokemon turned out. Let's meet Diajem, the Jewel Dragon Pokemon. This arrogant rock type sports razor-sharp diamonds running down its long neck and back. Diajem figuratively and literally look down on most other Pokemon, flaunting its gleaming gems as a symbol of status. They are able to bond closely with trainers who care for their own appearance and don't mind polishing Diajem's diamond plates. The ability is Icy Body. I know that's a little bit weird since it's not an ice type, but that means that it does regain HP in a snowstorm. And the hidden ability is Clear Body. Right off the bat, Diajem lets out a Sacred Gem attack that knocks out your second to last Pokemon. Atlantica begins to laugh and holds up a tennis bracelet with a familiar shard embedded in it. She clasps it tightly and Ultra Wormhole energy surrounds her and her Pokemon. Just when you thought things couldn't get worse, Atlantica is going to get all fancy about it. Partially inspired by the dresses that Pacifica gets to wear in the show, we just had to do an over-the-top ball gown, complete with a fashionable but deadly war fan. Now, as far as an unexpected typing, we're going to bring in the ice type because of all that bling. I mean, I know that sounds a little cheesy, but we're going to run with it. Plus, it's Atlantica. You know, she's as cold as ice already. Okay, let's check out Beast Merge Diajem, Diamond Bell. The diamonds growing along the dragon's back multiply and encapsulate the trainer, forming a protective dress. By twirling, this form is able to attack with multiple rows of diamond blades. Between the trainer's icy glare and hand fan, frosty attacks can be sent at their opponent. The dress is unfortunately heavy, and few trainers can maintain this form for long. The ability is something new we're calling Toughest Stuff, so that reduces damage taken from fighting and steel-type attacks by 50%. And that basically gets rid of the double weaknesses that an ice and rock type would have. Atlantica Shanae turns towards you while fluttering her fan over a devilish grin. You're in a tough spot. With no choice, you send out your last Pokemon. Kakurai is tiny in comparison to the Beast Merge form. You are about to give up hope and retreat when you begin to feel the necklace that the professor gave you vibrate ever so slightly against your chest. Without even having to think, you grab the necklace and feel the ultra wormhole energy envelop you and your Pokemon. Time for Kakurai to shine. And we're gonna go full Mega Man or Metroid arm cannon with this one. Your electric buddy lets you be a baddie busting hero. I still want the cannon to look pretty goofy since it is Kakurai after all, but with some added levels of cool coming from these electric lines plugging directly into your back. The headphone/ear protection is also neat and important as you'll be shooting sound waves out, and Kakurai wants to protect your hearing after all. Always important. Kids wear hearing protection. Okay, let's learn all about Beast Merge Kakurai. Burst Blaster. Kakurai warps into a cannon that latches onto their trainer's arm and bursts concentrated sonic blasts. Cables draw power directly from the trainer's back, meaning that this form leaves them completely exhausted afterwards. The sound waves produced can smash solid stone and steel. The ability, again, is new. This is Concussive Blasts. That takes sound-based moves, so any sound-based moves, Bug Bust, Boom Burst, anything, and they now become fighting-type attacks that deal 15% more damage. In this new form, you are stronger and faster than you have ever been, though you can feel your energy being drained from you. You battle fiercely, and with your fighting-type advantage, emerge victorious. You and your Pokemon revert back to your normal states, and a restored Atlantica falls to the ground.
No! That was impossible! How did you fuse? You just got here!
Maple skips over and wrenches the device component away from Atlantica.
What can we say? The Pines family is full of surprises. Now, if you'll excuse me, my twin and I must away and return this to its rightful place.
You leave Atlantica muttering on the floor and start making your way back to the research shack. But we'll pick up from there in the next episode. Be sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe if you are enjoying the series. There is a new puzzle added to the Discord server, so check out the video description for details on how to join the journal deciphering fun if you haven't done so already. Alright, I'll catch you in the next one. Later, nerds.